One thing that I wanted to talk about was how literal the body is, how the body manifests your truth within itself. I was working with a gentleman over the phone, and he had a case of psoriasis, and this psoriasis had been going on for 20 years. And when we got testing into his field, we found that 20 years ago he had been fired by a very prominent and very famous self-help guru, and this was his boss, and he was fired, and he felt really bad about that. And what we found was that there was some rage going on in his body, and it was manifesting in that skin issue. And what he was trying to do was show his boss how much pain he was in. And so his unconscious manifested that right out there on his skin where his boss could see it. And this was actually the intention of the man, but his boss was no longer there and couldn't see it, but there it was. And it stayed there for 20 years until we found it and brought that conscious. And when the gentleman realized what was going on there, I asked him, quantum technique's famous question, how's that working for you? And he, thought about that, and he says, well, that's not working very well. But within 2 weeks, the psoriasis was gone. This is supposedly an incurable disease. And once bringing what was really going on conscious, the gentleman, he recognized the truth in that situation. I don't need this anymore. The boss isn't going to see it. This is over. That's over. It's not 20 years ago anymore. For the body, everything's in the present. For the subconscious, everything's in the present. And so once bringing that conscious and recognizing the truth, then the body released that and let it go. Because, of course, he didn't feel like he needed that anymore. And he really didn't. It wasn't getting the job done. It didn't get him his job back. All we really needed to do was find out what was causing the problem and bring it to the surface so that it could be cleared. We brought consciousness to the cells that were holding the trauma field, the rage, and set that to clear energetically, and it did clear, and the issue was gone. I worked with a lady closer to the East Coast one time, and her neck was frozen over to the side like this. And what was going on was unconsciously there was something that she just could not face. Now, when the doctors went into it, they said, well, there's a problem in the ganglionic nervous system. And there was pathology. But once we found what she couldn't face and released that, then she started to have full movement in that neck that was frozen previously. And this is how literal the body is, how it manifests is exactly what's going on unconsciously. The beliefs of the unconscious mind affect you physically. They manifest physically in your body and create the issues that your body's having once brought conscious. I had a suicidal man over in Australia that I was working with, and you'll probably see his testimonial at the end of this video in writing, but he wrote me a really nice testimonial. What he had was a heavy heart, and he was very depressed. And I went in and when I tested through his field, using myself as a surrogate to test him over the phone, we found the weight that was weighting down his heart and causing that depression, and cleared those emotions and those beliefs that were causing that weight. And when we cleared that, why, he said he never felt so good in his life. And it was really touching to read the testimonial. And it continued. It didn't go away. It was a permanent healing. And the depression never came back, and the heaviness never came back. And he continues, even now, to feel like life is wonderful. Life is worth living. And it's very satisfying to work with people like that and then have that feedback. and realized what a help it was.